So over the 2,500 years, it was subjected to twists and turns, and this original path prescribed by Gautama Buddhacharya Vanse, the Vidarshana meditation or the penetrative insight, gradually disappeared from the world. So today, our spiritual teacher who has involved in Vidarshana meditation for like so long has uh, experienced this, got the opportunity to experience the non-vibration nature, non-self nature became of this body and mind became self-evident to him. So with these 12,000 sermons which he has completed by now, he shares this beautiful message of Gautama Buddha Sasana with all of us. So until our Theruvan Saranai, Doctor.
Theruvan Saranai.
Theruvan Saranai. Now Dr. Kokila has joined. Theruvan Saranai, Doctor. I just started.
Oh, yeah, that's good. Thank you, Aran Vahansa. We'll. Are you busy today, Sudharma? How is it?
Yeah, Doctor. Actually, I stopped on my way and I just started because I know Champa is also not there. I am kind of busy, Doctor. I can be there
Yeah,
for
that's
some
okay.
time.
That's
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, that's okay.
Mm.
Yeah. So, are you driving or what?
Yeah, actually, my sister has come down to Sri Lanka for a week, and I'm go going to a place with her, but I stopped on my way. It's all right, Doctor. Uh,
No,
that's why I
you can go if you want. Yeah, that's okay. If you are busy, you can go. You can continue.
Thank you, Doctor.
That's okay. That's okay, Sudharma. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So, today I think it would be just me, because a lot of our Dharma friends are in. So, Champa is in Tombagoda. A lot of Dharma friends are busy, so they have no time to join. So that's okay. We'll try and look at Dharma. Today, actually, I was listening to Tombagoda Zoom via Zoom. I was listening to Tombagoda. Aran is there. Such a beautiful sermon it was. He was talking about how it is important to understand Dhamma and feel Dhamma. So he was talking about how 70%, 70 to 75% of people are not feelers generally, and even with the 20% of feelers or the 30% of feelers, even they would listen to them. Still, a lot of people can get so stray away from Dharma because of a lot of drushti, that means concepts that they are in. So at the end, he came down to like a percentage, like he said, only maybe 5% of the people would actually understand Dharma and attain Nibbana. Nibbana is nothing. Nibbana is not a new status of living. No, nothing. Nibbana is actually fully realizing that there is no self and then becoming that. It's not a new thing. That's not gaining any new thing or losing anything, because there's nothing to lose, because actually this system doesn't have a self. It's not gaining anything because there's nothing to gain. There's no self to gain anything. So, but this is like Greek. Um, so we'll try to go from the beginning to the end. We have 2 hours. Unfortunately, you have to keep listening to me for 2 hours. Apologize about that. Once my friends have the time to come, we'll see whether we can have a good discussion without getting bored with this one person doing it. So, first of all, we need to understand that what Lord Buddha was trying to say and what Aranhansa is trying to say, it's it's the same thing as that there is no self. There is no self. It's kind of a broad statement, right? Yeah, it's a statement. We may say, "Ah, is that so?" We can say that and just walk away. That actually can happen. We may hear this Dhamma and just walk away. We may say, right, there's no self, and then walk away. That's one one thing that can happen. Another one would stop there and think about it. Wow, what is it? And try to understand. One might not feel it. Someone might feel it and still struggle to actually become it, and the other person might actually feel it and become it. So that's it. So when we say uh, there's no self, what are we trying to understand? This is about a like a we are not actually trying to understand something like a chemistry, physics, or any thesis here. We're actually trying to understand how we feel. So it's not new to us. We feel like we are existing. That's like bread and butter. We feel like there's me, and I'm seeing, I'm hearing, I'm feeling, I'm touching, I'm tasting, I'm smelling, I'm thinking. Those are the main problems we had. I mean, we never knew even that is a problem. Now we know. Now we know it's actually a misunderstanding, but we didn't know before that it is a misunderstanding. Actually, but that's the truth, right? We feel as we are existing. Uh, that that we have to understand, because we existed. We had a feeling that I'm getting old. I'm now getting sick. I'm losing people. I'm losing friends. I'm losing my things, and I might die, or I'm dying. Things like that. There's so many problems out there. So yes, so many problems. So when you understand that the problem that, because we have to understand the first the problem. What is the problem? Problem is this feel that we have, that there is a feeler, object. If there is object, there is always a subject, right? Yeah, if there's something to feel, there is always someone who is feeling it, right? Yes, it's nothing new to us. So this self feel is nothing new. That's the normal way. But we liked it, we wanted it, we thought there is permanent self. We felt that it is good to have a self. We didn't want to die. Uh, and we felt separated from everything else. Aranwanse has a beautiful way of saying that the actually uh, waves of the sea felt as they were separated. And Aranwanse was saying, can even though if the waves start to believe that they are not sea, how would that feel? That's like ignorance that we have. We feel like we are separated from everything. That separation happens in vijnana, or the consciousness. That's the problem. That happens because of the speed of this system. Separation is something we feel. That is why we are in this constant struggle uh, to understand that are we separated or not. At least if you get some experience only, you will realize now that actually we are not separated. But you have to feel it. Otherwise, you won't actually listen to anyone saying, separation is just a concept. Actually, you are not separated. But until you are in the mind bubble, you would feel the separation. That is a problem. So keep understanding this phenomena. The understanding this separation is not easy. Separated feeling, it's not easy. Is it actually separated? No, no. Then why the separation is felt? Because of this self vibration. This power, there's a separation is actually in the power. The consciousness has this problem of power. That power is coming from psycho level. Baby didn't know it, but baby also felt the separation. Once you grow up to have a mind, now it's a complete separation. Mind separates everything. That's a normal thing that happened to everyone, right? Yeah, we are in trouble of this. We feel like everything is separated. So there's no separation. So Lord Buddha was talking about uh, several different ways. He explained it. Sabbe dhamma anatta. Nothing is actually separated. There's no self. There's no separation. So this trying to understand this, you need to understand how the uh, light is felt separated, how we feel that sound is separated, how we feel the touch is separated, how we feel like that the chair is separated. That's the thought. How we feel that the chair is separated from us. Once it come to the mind, it is very obvious. Chair is separated to us anyway. That's how we feel. But that's not the case. So we have to understand then how did the chair occur to us? Because as an adult, we can't actually see. We're not seeing shape of light. We are not seeing. We are not hearing just the sound. We are not touching. We don't feel the touch. Just the touch. We are seeing a chair, or we are touching a chair, or we heard about a chair. That's all we can see. So the chair is already formed. Mind bubble, we are already in the mind bubble. That problem is there. This issue that we have is never even was a problem to us. I mean, for 70 to 80% of people, this is not a problem to them. Why? Well, they might say, we know we are dying. It's okay. We just suffer and die. Or they might say, okay, there's nothing happens after you die. This is just living in this time. There's no after effect. So you can do whatever you like and die. That's one way of thinking, one drushti, one concept. There's another way of thinking also. What is that? Another way? There's existing consciousness. There's existing consciousness even after life. That kind of thinking is also there. There are so many concepts out there. But Lord Buddha's Dhamma is first thing to understand is none of the concepts are true. Why? Why none of the concepts are true? Because any single concept, whether it's a chair, whether it's the floor, whether it's a fan, whether it's a window, whether it's a sun, whether it's a daughter, whether it's a uh, nirvana, whatever the concept, that's not true. Why? Concept is in the mind. It's a mind production. In the sense, what do you mean by mind? Mind is actually uh, five sensory organs vibrating together. It forms a new kind of vibration. It acts as a new vibration. It acts as a new vibration. So when you say it acts as a new vibration, uh, you need to actually fully understand this. So what do you mean by if I say moon? Now everyone knows moon, right? In English language, I'm talking about moon. Mm, moon is a word, right? Sound. So I made a sound. Is that true? That sound? Yeah, it's just a sound, but don't you feel something about it? No, you. It has a weight. It actually carries meaning and heaviness, and it has the picture. It has. You have the idea. You don't think about a water bubble when I say moon. It's something, some kind of solid structure. You have the idea, even if you don't have. You haven't touched the moon, have you? No. But you have the idea that it is some kind of solid form. So it's in the idea. It's a solid formation is a sanya. It's a perception. It's round in form, right? It's a round one, not a triangular formation or rectangular. Or it's not like a. Uh, it's not like a saucer or a plate. It's round thing. So what's that? That's how a perception works. How a uh, mind, oh, like what is it called? Stimuli. That's how it works. The perception of moon has everything in it. Can you understand? The light wave, the sound wave, even the uh, solidity, liquidity, everything is in that. So you have a really beautiful idea about the moon. And actually, how beautiful this perception formation is. You can see it even in the dreams. You can see it in the dreams. So the if you're seeing something in the dream, definitely you're not seeing the moon at that moment. Now, while I'm actually inside a room, can I see the moon at the moment? No. But even if I close my eyes or even if I open my eyes, I have a real perception about the moon, right? Yes, we have a perception about the moon. Same thing about the ice cream, same thing about the chair, same thing about your son or your daughter or your husband or your family or your home. These are very strong perceptions, don't forget. They are the perceptions that may carry you to the lower realms also because they feel so real that power is the power, your power. Actually, that's the power of that perception. But what I'm trying to say is this perception, the moon, the perception, it's actually nowhere. Can you understand? It's not situated inside the body. It's not in the one place called mind. It's not in the brain, nothing. Because there's no one place called mind. Mind is flow of these thoughts. Flow of these perceptions is what is called mind. But why do we feel like we are captured in a mind bubble? That's because of this speed of thoughts. If you feel that the thought bubble is real, I mean, that's a sadness, actually. This thought bubble is not real. You have to exit it and see. It's not actually there. You feel like it when you are in. So this moon, which we took the example as today for explanation, the perception of moon, we told that the solidity of that, the picture of that, we have a picture of that. We have a sound for that too. So can you see, uh, just imagine you are not actually seeing a moon at this moment. If you're seeing the moon, you think, oh, that's the moon. You kind of tell your kids, they see the moon, this is how beautiful the moon is. You can point out at something, right? Yeah, you can point at something and say that is the moon. So what do you think about that pointing? Moon is a mind perception. So where are you pointing now? When you're trying to show it to your kids or the children or your son or daughter, you will show the moon, right? Like you would show anything else. So you would say, kids, see, that is the moon. And that little child also will be like, oh, wow, that's the moon. So they have like a picture now of that. And now they know the name of that. And they have an idea now. There's an idea also about that. So now they also register that. So they have a perception of moon as well. Something round, something beautiful, like round, like not colorful. What do you say? Bright. It gives light in the very dark poor day. It's in like giving so much light on that day in the night. Usually the night is very black pitch. But then if the moon is there, there's some light, right? So you have some kind of mental idea, mental picture of a moon now. The child also has it now. That's how we get these mental ideas. But now my point is, you pointed out, you showed it. You actually raised your arm and pointed your finger at something out there and showed that it is the moon. Is that right? I mean, that's right. I mean, don't take me wrong. Yes, that's how you would say. This is the chair, this is the table, this is the fan, this is the window, this is the wall, this is the door, this is the floor, this is your house, right? Yeah, I mean, we can say common sense, yes. But then the thing is, this creation, can you see a moon? The picture that you saw, is that the moon? Who gave that word? That's the concept. So that word, can use the eye, vision. Vision is just vision. It's like taking a photo. So the word didn't actually come from the eyes. So the word is a given sound by that kid. Mother told that that is the moon. See, 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 that's the moon. So now you call that structure. Whenever you see that, you call it, wow, that's the moon. And after some time, you don't have to even say it comes as moon. That's how the mind bubble works. Directly, mother doesn't need to tell child again and again. Child may say, I know Amma, or I know Ma, I know mother that it is this moon. I know it is beautiful. So now child is also aware that something far away, something bright, something round, maybe with a rabbit, like a shadow, like a rabbit, like a shadow in the center. That's the moon. You might say that. But what Lord Buddha's Dhamma is big more than that. Actually, you can't see a moon. Seeing is just seeing. So if you are looking at a moon, that means it's a mind production. So if you are looking at something, whether it is a chair, whether it's a table, that is mind. As soon as you come to this realization, the heaviness that brings from the meaning of what you see is reducing, already reducing, because you know actually what you saw was not the moon. It's a concept that we have added on. So when you say, that's my son, if you say, that's my son, that's a mind perception. I mean, it will be a bit difficult for mothers, like we all struggle with that. But that's how it is. If you point out someone and say, that's my son, or that's my daughter, that's a mind concept. Now, uh, imagine you are inside a room and suddenly the thought comes, moon must be very bright today. Today is Poya Day. Or even Poya Day, the word Poya Day might bring you the moon into the mind. So the mind can work as well. So what happens is that's a mental picture coming. right? Because you're not actually seeing it at this moment. You're inside the room. You thought about them. But see, it brings everything. Similar, the light wave and the sound wave, they both come together. Mainly it is even the time, the solidity, liquidity, they also come. But the mind wave carries all eight aspects of that. Varnagandha Rasoja, Patavi Apo Tejo Vayu. That's eight things that are there in a mind perception. So if you are thinking about the daughter or the sun, same thing like the moon, that's the mind perception. But don't you feel, now try to get this proper, if you feel that it as real, now the the outside being true is one problem. Mind being true is another problem, but it's the same moon, the problem, same son or daughter, whatever. So the Adacha Bahida, our outside or inside, it is the same problem. Can you see that? Whether it is the projection to the outside or projection in the inside, it doesn't matter. If it is true, still the consciousness is true or the power is there. Separation is there. Separation is there. That thought, it has some power. If the thought has no power, the perception has no power, then definitely it will be powerless consciousness or the non-manifesting consciousness. Consciousness always mean some power, unless it is non-manifesting consciousness of an arahant or Lord Buddha. So how are we going to understand this? Now we talked about the moon, we can talk about the daughter also. So when we look at daughter, just imagine, this is just an example I'm trying saying. If daughter is far away and you're looking at the daughter, the immediately what comes is your daughter, right? It's separated, already separated, already has power. But if you fully realize it's a mind perception only, this projection gets poor. The outside projection, outside things are not going to give you that much suffering. Outside is not true. Actually, it's a mental perception. It's the first Pratipada, first part of that program Arana said is. And the second one, he says the mind is not true. In that sense, the perception is also not true. What does that mean? This side, inside. Now we realize that even though there is a projection as the moon is out there, moon can't be out there because moon is a mental projection. Can you understand this? Daughter is a mental projection. Sun is a mental projection. Ice cream is a mental projection. Uh, if you say America, it's a mental projection. War, it's a mental projection. Even if you say in Iran, it's a mental projection. First, you have to understand this properly. Mental projections are not true is another difficult aspect. Outside is actually not there. outside, even though we projected something as outside, that we can't, we have never actually um, say that I have seen a daughter, because you can't see a daughter. Daughter is a daughter is actually a mental projection, like mental concept. It's a word, right? Yeah. But now there would be another problem, because you might say, yeah. So even if we erase the moon from there, I can see something there. That's another problem now comes, because people might say, yes, yes, we understand that there's nothing out there like cold moon, but I can see something. That I can see something, or seeing something. No, there's no I anyway. Seeing something is actually, that is also not true. How is that? Because this I, you have to understand this bit, because this I works very fast, right? I works very fast. Actually, colors are seen by the human eye because of the eye vibration in different frequencies. If you know color blindness, some people can't see some colors because they don't have that frequency in that eye cells. Rods and cones, they have some specific eye cells which are vibrating into one frequency, and when that eye doesn't have that frequency, we say they are colorblind, so they can't see some colors. So is the color or the shape of light, again, shape of light is due to the speed, like you know how a TV, very old TVs, which this was very obvious. Nowadays, the TVs are so fabulous, you can't really even understand that it is a TV, because it looks so natural kind of thing. But olden day TVs, actually, they when they become slow, they have this dot 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 appearance. So it's actually uh, so much dots coming together. Likewise, this shape of light also is because of the speed of eye, in the sense, speed of light. The formations are like that. If you know if you have seen this, for Christmas, they do Christmas lights, like they do the drones. So about thousands of drones coming together, they can write happy Merry Christmas on the sky. So is Merry Christmas on the sky? No, they are like thousands of drones. Similarly, the shape of light is due to the speed of the eye. That's how they're seeing. Seeing has no, it's not a consequence of a I or a self. Sorry, this is not the E-Y-E-I. I'm talking about capital I. So that self, it's not a consequence of a self. This shape of light is because of the vision in rod cells and cone cells and how fast they vibrate. Or actually speaking, if you don't have them, if you are blind, you don't have any access to this, whatever that kind of vibration, right? If you are a blind person from birth, you don't have the uh, aloka sanya, or the light perception. But if you got blind later, you have the uh, light perception. You need to get it properly. Light perception is there if you had that perception before. So if you saw earlier and you got blind later, you will still have the light perception. Even if you're blind, you will have the light perception, because some person who lost eyesight later, they know if you say, mother, the moon is, full moon is out. It's so beautiful. It's giving some light. The night is a bit more clearer because of the moonlight. That person who lost vision later is fully aware what the other person is talking about, right? Because they have that mental image. They have the light perception. So now try to get this properly. Light perception actually doesn't need to see the light. You don't have to see the light to have the light perception. Do you know that? If you are blind from the birth, then you can't have the light perception. But but if you got blind later, you still have the light perception. If I say this room is in dark, the bulb died, then the other person, the blind person who became blind later, will know what that means. That means they have that perception of dark, they have the perception of light. So the light perception actually doesn't have the light in it. The perception is a miraculous thing that you have to fully realize. It's a mental perception. It's very unique to humans. This mental perception of light, mental perception of sound, mental perception of solidity, mental perception of liquidity, mental perception of airiness, mental perception of uh, temperature, everything. We have a mental perception. It's very important to understand. Actual feeling is something else, but mental perception is something else. That's why you can actually close your eyes and see the light. That's the mental perception. So the light perception actually doesn't have light, but if it's a mental perception, if it is true to you, you will feel it as true. So the mental perception of daughter, the example we were talking about before, if you remember your daughter, just imagine your daughter died few years ago. Or yeah, for an example, daughter died a few years ago. Mother kept remembering the daughter. The It's vivid remembrance, right? Yeah, it is like you. The daughter keep coming back to the mind. Daughter keep coming back to the mind. What does that mean, though? That means that mental perception, uh, even though you can't, because the daughter is not there anymore, you can't see the daughter or hear the daughter or touch the daughter. Now it's like the moon, because you are inside a room, you can't see the moon, you can't hear about the moon, you can't touch the moon anyway, but you have that solidity, liquidity idea. But still, the same way, the mental image of moon is very active. You feel like it is actually there. In the dead daughter, I mean, you have like a perception now that the dead daughter is no more. She's dead. I mean, she died a few years ago. I'm only talking about an example, not a personal one, just talking as for an example for you to understand them. So still, Don't you have that perception that I had a daughter, I had a daughter, and she died, and I feel sad about it. That's how you interpret that. But what actually happens is, like, imagine you lived in a house, and daughter also lived with you before dying. So as soon as you see her room, doesn't the daughter come to your mind? It does, right? Because it's an association. You see her room, her her mental picture also comes. Her room is also a mental picture. So mental images are actually linked a lot. So as soon as you see the room, the daughter might come to the mind. But why all these things are feeling so real? That's the problem. Now go back to the other example. Now, if you go out in the dark and you see the moon, you feel like I saw the moon today. You felt as you saw the moon. Even that is not true because you can't actually see a moon. Moon is just a mental image, right? Just a concept. But you thought you saw a moon. But you come inside, you thought you saw the moon, and you come inside and say to kids, the moon is out there, it's so beautiful. So you're actually saying, I have a mental image of a moon, and that is out there. So everything is real. As outside is also real. Can you ever see a moon? Can you see a word? Can't really. Can't see a concept, can you? No. Even the shape of light, I told you, shape of light is also not true. But you might say, well, even that I understand, but I feel something. Yes, something is felt because I, not capital I, this I eye organ, it's actually speed of the eye or speed of light. That's what you feel. That's what the feel that we misunderstand all the time as seeing as something, nothing else, nothing else. So the actual feel that we have that I am seeing is actually because of this phenomena. If you don't understand this, every day, if there is a feel, you feel like I'm there. Now go back to the daughter because we can't touch the moon. So we'll go to the example of daughter. Daughter, we can say, I saw my daughter. You just say, I went to the town, I just saw my daughter. She didn't tell me she's going to the town, but I saw my daughter suddenly. I mean, I'm just telling an example. So, I mean, that's how we talk, right? That's fine. But can you actually see a daughter? No, we talked about that. This is just a, even if you feel like something that is actually the speed of this sensory organ. But What about touching? So you went up to daughter and touched her shoulder. We say, then all these words are not true, right? No. But just imagine there was touch sensation. So what happens there? You thought you touched your daughter, right? Yes. You thought you touched your daughter. That's fine. That's a mental image. But then if you understand this Dhamma, you might say, yes, yes, I know. I can't touch daughter. I can't actually touch anything in that sense. It's a mental image. I can't touch, right? You can't touch a mental image. Why? Touch is named as the daughter. Daughter is an actual mental concept. So you can't touch a daughter. But then you will come up with the idea, yes, I understand that. But there is something, I felt something. What is that? That is actually the solid perception we have. There's a solid perception coming from. That is a result of this skin. Actually, this skin is a magic thing. I don't know, you can study about that. Sometimes there's soft touch, there's light touch, there's deep touch, there's uh, so many various touches. That's the function of the skin, because if you give local anesthesia, no touch at all. You can't touch your daughter, nothing, if the full skin is anesthetized. So it is the function of the skin only. This variant of varying types of touch is due to the skin only. Skin has so many receptors that they work differently, and they work through vibrations. If you know physics and biology, you will know it's working through vibrations. So solidity is actually a perception we have. It's a mental perception we have, but actually the feel is due to the fast vibration of the skin. This has to be felt. Actually, the everything that we are talking at this moment should be felt. Otherwise, you won't. This is felt through the wisdom. You can't really do that without the wisdom, because it's all through wisdom. So that's about touching the daughter. Now, we say we were shopping, and then suddenly you heard daughter's sound, and you turn back. So that sound, you immediately detected it's your daughter's sound, right? Yes, you detected the daughter's sound. Does it have to even, I mean, fraction of seconds, you know it's daughter's sound. How come is that? That's the beauty of human mind. How human system works. Didn't become just a sound. It's daughter's sound. And is that a problem? No. It's not a problem. None of these things are problems. Like you having the solidity perception, you having the light perception, you having the sound perception, or you having the daughter perception. This is not a problem. This is what the system is. But why are we learning about this? Try and understand there's no self. Actually, that's why we are learning this. So the daughter, so you heard a sound immediately, like fraction of a second, you know it's daughter's sound, right? And it already become a thing now, because it's your daughter's sound. So can a sound have that effect? Actually, sound is a sound only, right? You heard a sound. How did this mental picture come very quickly like that? That's how it works. So you need to understand this, how mind works. As soon as sound is heard, mind is active. As soon as a light is seen, mind is active because you are actually localizing the picture. And as soon as touch system is working, you have localized it. It is, at least you might say, oh, it's very hard. I don't know what it is, but it's hard surface. Your if your eyes are blinded by a sheet of cloth and asked to touch something and identify it, you will struggle. So now this is the human system. Human system is working like that. Fraction of a second, as soon as you something, you know it's a basketball. If you knew it before. So this synchronization is very, very fast. Now we talked about seeing, we talked about hearing, we talked about the touching. Everything is kind of connected through the mind, right? Mind perception. Even the solidity, liquidity, they are also mind factors, mind images, mental images. Now, thinking is another difficult area because to think there's no need of anything. I mean, you may have a trigger, you may not have a trigger. Thinking can happen, like in a dream kind of thing. Thinking. Suddenly, you may find thinking about war, right? War. Or you may be thinking about petrol and then petrol price and then war. That's how the thinking goes on and on. Why people are addicted to thinking? Why this thinking world is very heavy? Why thoughts are felt like true? That's ignorance, right? So whatever you thought about it, if you thought about the moon, you are you can actually walk outside and see the moon, right? Yeah, see, if your perceptions, mental perception, mental image, you thought about it, the thought, if it is true, you have something to see. Now you can walk and see, right? You need an eye, you need vision, you need the organ eye. If your mental image is true, you need a ear. If your mental image is true, you need a body for the body consciousness or to feel. That is the problem. This is this way and that way. The both ways are happening. The outside is true, inside is form. If the inside is true, outside is form. This is vijnana pacchaya nama rupa pacchaya vijnana, same thing. If there are two ends, that means outside, inside, whatever there are two ends, power is formed. You can't prevent that. Whether the mental image, whether whether it is projected outside or not, if there is, if it is projecting, projecting outside, definitely, if it is true, it's going to project to outside. And the outside is true, it is going to project inside. So this keep happening. So the consciousness or the power, the separated field is never going to go away until your mental image is not true. You have to feel this. You can feel this really with the something like walking meditation, you can feel this, and then you have to start feeling this in every aspect of your life. So the mental image of walking, just now we'll go to that mental image of walking. So walking is a mental image, like the daughter. Daughter is a mental image. Walking is a mental image, right? Moon is a mental image. So actually, is the mental image actually there? No, but we keep doing that. When then we
Teruvan
understand.
Saranai, Doctor. Teruvan Saranai, Doctor.
Theron Sanai.
Doctor, in that I was listening to your beautiful explanation of the perception. The doctor, that moon, when you were explaining, it's really beautiful. It occurred to me, but we don't get an opportunity to touch the moon, no, ever. But still, that as you said, this when the perception arises, solidity part is also there. So that solid perception. Uh, Comes there with a prior exposure of solidity of other stuff too? How does it
Yeah,
come?
yeah, yeah.
It should be so, no, doctor.
Yeah, we have
Yeah,
been taught that it is, no one has told us
yeah,
that it's like jelly. If we were
yeah.
told like that it is like jelly, then it might go into like that aspect.
Ah, yes, yes.
It's all the concepts that we put into the system.
Hmm, true. That's
I
very.
mean, it actually, even this earth,
Hmm.
if someone says inside is earth, inside is like molten lava,
Then we, yeah,
we have a perception about that. If someone says, no, 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 that's the wrong thing, inside is like rock hard, like metal, then we get that perception. So that's why
that
everything in the mental perceptions can be changed.
change.
So
And they are,
another scientist comes and say, no, actually not true. Inside is a hollow. Then suddenly the hollow comes. That's the hollow also is a
yes,
perception. No?
yes,
So every mental perception can change. Lord Buddha's
can
Dhamma
change.
can't change because Lord
Hmm.
Buddha's Dhamma is all about none of the mental perceptions are true.
Hmm. True. Yes,
You
that
finish
that was
driving.
very beautiful. Yeah, doctor, I arrived at the place, and while coming also, I was listening to your explanation. That's very beautiful, and that moon thing. I was also wondering, my God, now we never touched the moon, but how does this solid feeling comes when you analyzed it that way? Only it occurred that to me. Yeah, now in this example also lava, that's kind of liquid kind of
Yeah, you
perception
have that
arises.
idea, right? Yeah.
That idea.
When you say lava, you don't have the perception of a solid metal, but you feel like it
Yet
is melted something. So it is like
some,
flowing.
yeah,
That
yeah.
perception is there. It's a beautiful thing. The understanding the perception, the
Mm,
but understanding the perception and realizing it is a mental perception only, and it is not true. It's
mm,
bit daunting because we are addicted to these mental perceptions.
mm,
This solidity, it's fine. It's fine that it's a
mm,
perception, but
mm,
it's just a perception only.
mm. And the speed of the mind, no, doctor, that's the magic. That's the other thing you reminded. I mean, the thing is, these constant reminders are really, really important. Then only again they get refreshed, and I mean, we begin to. Otherwise, it is so hard for us to come to realizations. Doctor, now in this today's in the sermon, this 1 hour, you explained so many important areas that would be useful for anyone in the past. The speed of the mind, you said something, and then the experience of the blind person by birth and somebody who uh, went blind after some time, how they see the light perception. Those are really, really important points, Doctor. Yeah, thank you so much
Yeah.
for that. Mm,
Yeah, actually, these perceptions are
mm,
the reason why we are talking about perception is it's the other tricky area. These perceptions are not the culprit. The existing perception is the culprit.
mm. Existing perception.
Yeah, itta sanya, itta sanya. That's
Mm.
a perception that has nothing to do with these perceptions.
Mm. And doctor, something I wanted to actually ask from you yesterday. It came now. My sister, I told you that she came from UK. No? So she said she, when I mentioned something, she is unaware of that. I can't remember anything like that. She was telling it was about a certain thing. I think a dress or something that she had. Then at that point, it occurred to me, doctor, that means that perception is not there in some way. No, she has fully, unknowingly, that per- I can remember
It
means that
hasn't become a thing.
perception
It hasn't become a
has,
thing to her.
but at that time it was a thing to her. No? Yeah,
Yeah, but
now,
now it's not registered means
hmm,
it can be like the solidity perception. We kind of have it, right?
hmm,
Solidity perception, light perception, we have it. We It's like solid, like very very repeated perceptions.
hmm.
Once a perception is not repeated, it might
Ah, yeah.
subside.
Sankarana is not there, no, doctor.
Yeah,
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 that's
yeah.
right. Yeah, yeah. Okay, that's
But
beautiful.
in
Yes.
your mind, you have thought about it
I
multiple
have,
times.
I
That's
have
why
heard.
it
Yeah.
has been there.
Mm. So when
Because
you
same thing,
always
when you
say no,
drive, you can't remember everything that you saw, but you might
no,
remember one beautiful frog that you
yes.
saw in or one person, someone specific,
Mm.
something like that. So the
Mm.
abhisankarana is a repetition.
Repetition.
So the
Yeah.
light perception is a big repetition. But
Mm. Mm.
everything existing perception or the itta sanya is uh, innumerable times is repeated, and
Mm.
the self
Mm.
perception is the
Mm.
same. That's why this dhamma needs to be repeated as well, kind of, because it's very difficult to uh,
Yeah,
tackle
that's
this
why.
repetition.
And doctor, you said no, the importance of discussing Dhamma and talking about it, listening to it regularly. So realization will be there, whatever the realizations we make at some level. But if we do not discuss it, it's so hard. I mean, very easily we will get back to the mundane thinking and pattern and
Yes,
uh,
yeah,
yeah, that happens. Yeah.
yes, because even Anepin Suttama,
Hmm.
we never heard him. He actually asked, why didn't actually from Sariyuttero, I think, why didn't you tell this Dhamma before? Because he
Hmm.
told something near death.
Hmm.
He heard some Dhamma near death, and he asked
Hmm.
from Sariyuttero, why didn't you tell this Dhamma before?
Before.
Actually, thing is, he may not have heard because he is already inside that premises. He's the one who is building that everything, right?
Hmm.
You can't really say that he didn't hear that. The thing is,
Hmm.
when sometimes you don't hear that. Sometimes you just cruise alone, like you're happy in your own way because the fire is less. He's sotapanna now, so fire is
mm,
less. He is just cruising alone. So yeah, there is a problem like that. So even Aranwanse was highlighting this today in Domagoda. It's a
mhm,
very beautiful talk. I listened to it when I about 1 hour before joining this one. I was listening. It was a beautiful one. I didn't listen from beginning. It's just that part I listened. So he was
mhm,
talking about how this um, feelers are important. Feeling this Dhamma is
mm,
actually very important, and this uh, this itta sanya, or finding the vibration, finding what is the problem, and
mm.
actually releasing from it is a tricky area. You need to look into that deeply.
Yeah,
Repetition
yeah.
should be there, otherwise
Mm. Mm.
otherwise it will be lost.
Yeah, it is so magical, doctor. Now, when you were telling, actually, while driving, I was listening to that. Now you think it's the sister. You explained it actually. It was superb, and you proved that again. Everything. Do you see the paddy field? Do you see the river? It's the mental perception and that concept. It was so good, and uh, I felt it, doctor, at that point. Yeah, that really important. Participating in these discussions and listening to them, Dhamma, and when you, I mean, Aryan has a sermon, I should listen to it. I'm struggling with the time actually these days, but yeah, doctor, this is the most precious time for me. Honestly, like uh, whenever, I mean, day to day things happen, but whenever there is a possibility, like that there is a saying, no, some insect always goes into, like the ant always goes to the sugar. We always land in this place, no, Dham, whenever,
Mm.
I mean, that is there, yeah. So you explained, Doctor, very beautifully. That's why I wanted to tell this. Even Champa should listen to today's one, this moon example, and you build up it beautifully. And going from, you were at thinking part when I suddenly jumped in, but I thought you were explaining that how thinking happens, no, Doctor.
Yeah, the how
We
thinking
always,
happens.
yes, yeah, we feel as if we are thinking, but ultimately it is happening. It is then, if you take a step back and see, we can see how it automatically, how is it is automatically arising there
Yeah,
without
but
the self. Yeah.
actual tricks, Dharma, there,
Yeah.
the if the thinking is true, it falls outside.
Hmm.
It doesn't
Hmm.
become anidasana.
Ah,
So
yeah.
see, that's the thing. So
Hmm.
imagine if you really have a, this is, sorry, it's a lokasanya. Lokasanya, this
Hmm.
word, I don't know how to say that in English,
We
but
say worldly perceptions, no? We
yeah,
that
worldly
that's
perception.
the,
So if the
hmm.
mental image of moon is real,
Hmm.
you are born with the eye. You're
Yeah,
born,
yeah.
you're
With the
definitely born with the eye because you need
eye.
to see
Yeah.
that now.
Mm-hmm.
That's where the Namarupa Vinyana Namarupa thing happens.
Mm-hmm.
So if the mental image is true, the last chitta, the gatinimiti, kammanimiti, this everything is interconnected. So what the
Mm-hmm.
vibration level is a different thing. According to the vibration level, it could be a dog, it could be a monkey, it could be a human. We don't care, we don't know. But
Mm-hmm.
you know the the power. So if it is about touch, you necessarily need to
mm,
have a body, right?
mm, mm.
Now, just imagine uh, if it's a robe, you definitely need a body, right, to feel a
Yes,
robe.
yes.
So that's what the vice versa thing. Like, not it's not vice versa. The word, how do you say that? Anyamanya? Or how do you say that in English?
Mm, tricky? No, Anyamalika. I don't
It's
get it. Though.
feeding,
Yeah.
feeding this way as well as the other way. So if
Anyamanya?
the yes, if the vinyana is there, Namarupa is already there. So it means if
But
your light
this,
consciousness is true, if your sound consciousness is true, the mind perception
ah,
already
mm,
forms, right?
mm. If this is there, that is there something.
Yeah,
It
that thing.
is.
How do you
Ah,
say that?
yeah.
It's not vice
In
versa, right?
writing, no, not vice versa. Vice versa means other way around. No? This, this causes. I mean, if this is there, that is there. That is how it comes in Dhamma. Um, මෙහි වේනම් එයවේ
Idapachitave.
something. I can't think of the English term, doctor, for that.
Yeah. So what I'm trying to
Mm.
say is, if the sound consciousness is true, if the light
It
consciousness is true,
yeah, doctor. Then vice versa is also correct. No, one doesn't exist. It both ways. It's true. That's what no it
it's true.
means.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Because if the consciousnesses are true, obviously the mind consciousness is formed. But if the mind image, mental image is true, now you need to have this whole system to feel it. So
Mm,
just imagine your moon perception is true. You need legs to walk out
mm,
the house, and you need your eyes to look at it, right?
mm,
If your ice cream perception is true, you need the legs to go to the fridge, and you need
mm,
the tongue to taste it, nose to smell it, eyes to
mm,
see it, everything.
mm,
So this
mm.
is how the lokasanya, or the worldly perceptions can make you to have a birth.
Yeah, okay,
It
yeah.
depends on the what
The,
type of birth,
yeah,
depends on the vibration level.
yeah. Mm,
So if your worldly perceptions are true, there's a birth. That was the actual thing I was trying to come to.
mm, mm.
So worldly
That's the word.
perceptions is mental images being true.
Mm.
What was it?
Yeah, no, doctor, now I was just actually thinking that that's really, I mean, that's the truth, exact truth, that another perspective of this truth, no? If the worldly perceptions are true, that is the birth. So that is, if the Lord Buddha says, I is the birth of the person, birth of the I is the birth of the person. So birth of thy means again worldly perception somehow.
Yes. Yeah,
There we
that's
only take
the
one.
Pachatave basically, but
Yeah.
it's just another version. But Aranvansi has
Mm,
told this in old Dhamma,
mm, mm,
in old sermons. He has told how this works,
mm.
how you will end up in this sansaric cycle.
Yeah, doctor, now all these journeys we make, meetings, partings, whatever, all happen in a dream, no? When we feel that, I mean, at mild level even, there is a lot of uh, kind of relief, kind of that burning is going down, no matter what kind of thing arises gradually. At least
Mm.
we feel that it's a dream now. Going to Now we are planning to go to uh, Temple of Truth, but it's again the part of the dream. At least that comes when we earlier we were like in the dream we did everything in full that deep ignorance. No, now at least that the fact that it is a dream comes to us because of this Dhamma. So
Yeah, but we have to
definitely,
be careful. Even the dream word is a perception. So there are
hmm,
tricky
hmm,
areas where when we try
hmm,
to, so nirvana is also a perception,
hmm,
dream
hmm.
is a perception,
Yeah, you
vibration
said
is a perception. Every
yes.
word, if there's heaviness,
That's the
it becomes a worldly thing. But actually
hmm,
understanding this Dhamma is completely in the field way, because
hmm,
none of these mental images are actually true. Then
hmm,
when you come to that, when you actually fully
hmm,
realize that, then it comes to the feel. Feel is
hmm.
actually the speed of the sensory organ. That has to be
The
there
sensory organ.
throughout.
Hmm,
Yeah, if you don't know that, you are going to get
hmm,
trapped in the feel side.
hmm. That's
So
why
that's the thing.
Adalwada says you have to go ahead the feel as well. No, feel is not the destination. That's what even you
Yeah, yeah,
Dhamma
yeah,
says.
yeah, yeah.
Hmm,
Actually, he was talking about that in Domagudu today. He was talking about
hmm,
four people. So, four levels. He was talking about the people who contemplate,
hmm,
then active contemplation, then passive contemplation, and feel and non-feel.
hmm,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
hmm.
So that's the thing. So at least knowing this Dhamma is a win-win. I would say. I mean, who can understand this Dhamma? It's very difficult.
Very
It's
difficult.
very
Actually.
difficult. But for the village mother, it might be easy because there's no much hopes.
Hmm,
Village mother, there is no hope for next moment. No. Usually, who is going to the henna every day? It's like happening like a habit. They don't have much hope. But if they have the fear of death, so if they actually get this Dhamma nicely, it will be really good.
yes.
Even at Lord Buddha's time, the person who cleaned the butchers, not the butcher, the
Hmm,
hunter, right? The
hmm,
hunters, she's the one who helped the hunter to hunt animals
hmm,
and
hmm.
uh, everything. She's the wife of the hunter, but she
Ah, yes.
understood them.
Hmm, hmm.
She
And when you
understood
said
them.
that doctor, that village mother's thing, I mean, that the worldly perceptions are not thick, no, for them, as you
Not
say.
thick,
Now,
but the
educated
death
people,
fear is
they
there.
would, that fear is there. But for someone, I mean, who was like given a good education, I mean, given targets. Now, some people are
Even
planning to end
Australia
up
is
with,
there no in our mind.
yeah, our mind, and
Just
then
imagine
NASA. You,
everything is there no. I mean, in my head, I have so much science, so much medical stuff, so much things.
hmm,
But their power is it's bit easy, not like the main things like the family or the. They are a bit difficult because of the repetition.
and
But being a
contemplation
doctor,
is,
this being a doctor is a not only a mental image; it's a habit now. That's a different thing you need to understand. So this habit means a habitual thing. It's not you now. Imagine even a person having dementia might get up, go to the toilet, and get changed and dress up as she's going somewhere. Uh, Even though she's not supposed to go anywhere, she might dress up and start going. But that dressing up part, there's no need to remind sometimes. because
Yeah, no need
that's
to
in
remember.
there as a habit. So
Hmm.
some habits are really, really, really in there. Um, so, but the Dhamma is to understand that it's not me, it's not a self. So this teacher, being a doctor, being a nurse, being a mother, being a sister, being a husband or wife, these are all kind of roles that we have been in with a self will.
Yes, with the selfie.
So we have already been there nicely for how many years? So we have been there. So now it's really critical for us to understand that that role is okay, but the self view is the problem, or the self perception is the problem, or the self vibration is the problem. So the that demarcation is the importance, like understanding that habit is one thing, putting it or claiming it through a self is the problem.
Hmm. So,
So
and in the
being a doctor is not the actual problem. Problem is I am a doctor
self,
kind of thing.
hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm. I am a doctor,
So
even the view is not there, the perception is there, no, doctor.
yeah, perception uh, of the role can be there.
Hmm.
Mother role is a difficult one. The fathers are very good at this because men are usually better at this dhamma. Even today, today Aran Hanse also said that
Hmm.
men are better at this dhamma because men, it's easy for them to drop anything.
Hmm.
But as
True.
females, they grab to things very fast.
Easily,
They
yeah.
grab things like I'm the mother, I
Hmm.
have to do this. I'm the sister, I'm the uh, nun, or I'm the big nun here, or whatever. So taking these things so seriously, it's actually a worldly mental image. These mental images are uh, strong. Some like freedom. You can't touch freedom, no?
Hmm. Abstract.
Yeah,
Yeah.
nothing. But still, we there's
We
kind of
have
a
a
heaviness to that.
heaviness and we have a perception also, doctor. Freedom, some perception is there, no, for that.
Yeah, yeah. So it's the same thing with the self perception. Self
Hmm.
perception is actually not there,
Hmm.
but we have a perception.
Hmm.
This duality is a perception. But Aryan Hanse always says, Aryan Hanse or the Lord Buddha also has this. But then it's fully understood or already claimed now that duality is not a problem to that person anymore, because it's already understood that the duality is not true. That has to be felt. But what I'm trying to say is, then whether there is duality or not, it's already done. So whether Lord
Yeah,
Buddha would
doctor.
say that is a beautiful moon today, that doesn't necessarily mean anything to Lord Buddha. But he might say that.
Now, doctor, when we practice this contemplation, we come to a point that uh, only that stimulus is there. That is now, if now something occurs in front of me, some paddy field down there, uh, beautiful setting anyway with sunshine. So actually, when I is at work, that is the only thing that is there. No? My body, me seeing it, uh, nothing is there. The moment the
Mm,
eye see, only that exists. So now, since I am in Dhamma forum and since you are explaining this, I feel. But in day-to-day life, we don't always feel so. No? We feel, oh, I'm going there, I'm seeing this, hearing. So the person thing arises. So that is, otherwise, this sense faculty experience only thing is a beautiful experience. I mean, in an
Yeah.
artificial, we, we feel it even, it's beautiful. So that is the only way to experience that there is no self, no doctor. Even
No, walking
thousand
meditation
times
is very good
are working. Yeah, they are
because
working
you can
really.
actually, it's a best piece of work
Hmm.
to actually feel the no self.
Hmm. Hmm. They are, we begin to question ourselves, how come this walking happens? That kind of awareness arises. First time,
No,
it's
that is thinking. That
yeah,
all that
think.
thinking should die down. So that's why the
um,
long walk helps.
Yeah,
Initially,
when we
this
were doing.
mind gives a lot of trouble.
Yeah, I mean, for the very first time when we do it, doctor, and I mean, explanation now, see who is moving your legs, who is moving your hand, is it you? That questioning is done by Aryan Mahasino. So actually, I mean, that is thinking, but knowing that itself helps us to feel that in a later stage, no, doctor?
Mm. Mm. Yeah, yeah. So today
Then,
also Aaron Hanse said, I stopped actually there when he said, we'll get up now and walk. So he must
hmm,
have done the walking by now. But
hmm,
he said, drop everything, just understand that seeing is seeing only, hearing is hearing
hmm,
only, touch is touch only, thinking is thinking only. Just do that. And that only. So this is not easy for someone who has listened Dhamma on that day. But if
hmm,
the people listen to Dhamma for some time, but the thing is, the problem of letting go is always there. Thinking will keep happening. So in any way, if the thinking is active, it's still in the mind bubble.
hmm.
So it's better to understand that and just try to feel it. So
And
I would actually, you missed that. I'll repeat that today because
oh,
I told this to Champa.
oh,
Uh, walking, and maybe you have heard it.
hmm.
Walking is a mental image.
Yes, yes. All actions
So,
are mental images. Yeah. Mm.
yes. So go to the baby. Baby might walk without knowing that it is walking.
Yeah, true. If
So
someone commands, even
this
baby
is same
won't
with the
do that.
light perception. This is same with the light
Hmm.
perception. Baby might see without the light perception. There it is only a feel.
They feel, yeah.
This has to
But
understand
mm,
with wisdom, because when the mind is formed, it becomes, everything becomes within the mind bubble. Then light is a perception. Everything
mm,
becomes a perception.
mm,
But baby could walk without the walking perception. But then someone would say, Puta, this is, or child, this is walking. This is called
mm.
walking. They might actually show a picture and say, we as little children, we learn that this is stand up,
Uh,
this is sitting down, this is walking, this is up, this is down, this is top, this is like below, like kind of, everything is taught, right? So
that's a
then
very
walking
beautiful.
is a mental image we have. After that, walking with feel is gone, completely gone. And
Yeah,
the baby or the child comes to the thing as it's now in the mental image, walking mental image. So as soon as teacher says walk to the class, they know what she's talking about.
yes. And doctor, small babies, infants even clap. No, that now we say they are clapping. They also put their hands together out of, I mean, some trigger, but still they don't have a kind of mental image of clapping, even smiling,
No,
That's
no,
very beautiful.
they don't.
Mm.
That's all in
But
feel. But the thing
they
is, the feel is separated to them.
feel is separate.
Separated. Consciousness is
Ah,
separated in the sense
ah,
consciousness is felt as someone.
yes.
Consciousness is felt as separated. Consciousness is feeling separate.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, yes, yes, yes.
Aran Han's
Yeah,
beautiful
yeah.
explanation here is
Hmm.
sea uh, waves.
Sea waves.
මුහුදු රළ නැගුණට
Yeah.
මුහුදෙන් වෙන් වෙලා නැහැ. So that
Ah,
thing is actually because
hmm.
this thought or the one stimuli when
Hmm.
consciousness is there felt as separated unless it becomes
Feel it.
anidasana or appatitita.
Hmm. Hmm.
It is the same. It is that power is there. Separation power is there. That is because of that
Okay. It's
initial
a bit
power.
difficult for me. Please explain it again. Can you please
So the
explain it
baby, we'll go
again?
back to the baby.
Ah,
This has to be felt though. Baby, worm,
hmm.
everything. I think
Hmm.
you had this question some time ago also. Until the mind bubble is formed, they just
Hmm.
feel.
Yes, yes.
But feel is separated. That's why fear of death is there.
Ah,
In the sense,
yes.
it's not fear of death.
Hmm. Yeah.
Doesn't like
Ah,
the vanishing of that feel
hmm.
because
Hmm.
that word is not
Ah,
there.
not there, but that is why even the worm is having that. No, doctor. Right, right.
Yeah, doesn't
Yeah.
want to not feel.
Hmm. Hmm. True. Good. Yeah.
So baby likes to feel, right? Baby likes to
Yes.
feel, baby likes to lick, baby likes to touch. You know, they like if you put a baby to like a water puddle, they will touch the water. They will play
Flash.
kind of
Good.
thing,
Yeah.
even
Yeah.
though
Hmm.
they don't know anything about the water thing.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
there is a feel. So there is a
Feel.
liking towards the feel which
Yes.
can't be explained because of the
Hmm.
separation of the field.
Hmm. Hmm.
Anywhere consciousness is there, vinyana, the word is used.
Hmm.
Anywhere the
Hmm.
consciousness is there, this problem is there.
Hmm. Okay.
But consciousness will be there if Namarupa is there.
Yes, they are interconnected. Hmm.
Interconnected. That word is okay.
Interdependent. No, interdependent, and that's the word.
Yeah,
Interdependent.
interdependent.
Yeah.
So if you have a mental image of anything,
Hmm.
there's a possibility of consciousness arising even in the next time. Actually, the
Hmm.
consciousness not is not the flying thing. Lord Buddha said, no, විඥානේ ගමන් කරන දෙයක් නෙවෙයි.
Hmm.
There's no, you can't because consciousness is only spoken if there's eye
Right.
or if there's a
Um, yeah.
ear, if there is a touch, if there is sensory
Hmm.
organs only you can talk about a vinyana.
Vijnana, yeah.
So how then this vinyana arises is the problem. Why there is cellular vibration in the um, zygote? There's a,
Hmm.
when the two cells come together, there's a like a clap, like there is a
Hmm.
vibration. Why then
Hmm.
this telepathizes with another vibration?
That's
It's
why
a
it arises.
mental power
Hmm.
which comes there. It's a
Yes.
mental power. Physical
Hmm.
power is already there in there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Genetic part, everything is there in the zygote, but the mental power is coming from somewhere. That is what we are
Hmm.
stopping.
Yeah. And that is not exactly the previous power, neither a new one. It is something that also Lord Buddha said,
No,
no, no,
that is
doctor.
one line
Yeah,
though.
yeah,
Don't forget.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's one line, but it is not
One line
exact.
in the sense, it
Yeah,
is not
yeah,
one though. It is the
yeah,
trickiest thing
yeah.
ever. See this
Yeah.
Itta sanya or the Atma
Mm.
sanya, Atma vibration, what is it called? In a self
Right.
vibration,
Vibration. Yeah.
this arises as the causes are there.
Mm.
Cause and effect Dhamma.
Mm.
That's where the cause
Yeah.
and effect
Yeah.
Dhamma is thing. It's not a
Mm.
permanent thing.
Yeah.
If the causes are not there, effect is not there. This happens is also the same thing.
Mm. Mm. Mm.
If this doesn't happen, this doesn't happen.
Mhm. Mm.
So the cause and
So
effect is, you have to fully understand the cause and effect thing. So if the itta sanya is not there, the self
the self
vibration, self
is
perception
not.
can't do anything. Can't do
Yeah.
anything. No, it doesn't have a place there. No self perception arises.
Mm.
After that, it start to manifest everywhere. So that's
Mm.
the thing. So the uh, what Lord Buddha
So,
is saying
doctor,
is to stop this cycle
synchron
of birth. Yeah,
synchronization is a cause, then, no, doctor? It also can be taken as a cause. Speedy.
synchronization is the
Mm.
cause. If there
Yeah.
is a if there is a
The
self, no, Lord Buddha
powerful.
found this reason. No, Lord Buddha found
Mm.
why
Mm.
this jump is there. Why the power
Mm.
is not uh, dropping when Sudharma die?
Mm.
Why the Sudharma power is not stopping?
Because there's
Because of the self
additional
view.
self, yeah. Additional power is there, no? Yeah.
Additional power is there because of the self
Yeah.
view which never
Mm.
vanished. It's a one
Mm.
vibration which never vanished. Because that vibration
Mm.
is actually not related to that Sudharma body or the Sudharma mind.
Mind.
It's not related to that.
Mm.
Actually speaking, this vibration has nothing to do with the Sudharma body or the mind.
Mm. 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 But
It could have
we
been,
get the ownership
before that, it could have been
ignorantly.
a
Mm.
animal or a god. Who cares? Whatever it is, the vibration, we couldn't catch it unless it becomes manifested in a human realm.
Mm.
We can't catch this vibration unless it uh, manifests in human realm. When it manifests
Mm.
in the human realm only, this can be stopped.
Of course.
Because this vibration has nothing to do with this body, nothing to do with
Mm.
this mind. This vibration is there because of the self view, self perception. It is there because of existence perception, but the existence perception is there. It's a wrong perception.
Mm.
There's no self perception existing. It's actually this only this sensual organ function. When the organ function stops, then the system should stop.
Mm.
Power should stop. That's only
So,
arahant.
mm.
That's only arahant, because the self view is gone. There's no power there in that system. No lokasanya means no power to connect anywhere. That's the importance of lokasanya though.
Mm.
Worldly
Yeah.
perceptions, if a single perception is true, still there is a possibility of manifesting some, whatever the realm, it doesn't matter. Can be a good one,
Mm.
doesn't matter.
Mm.
Whatever the realm, there is a manifestation.
So even if the infant dies, it is not the end because of that vibration. That,
Oh,
but
100%. Yeah, 100%.
100%. Yeah, Arahant. By that
Sys-
time, that system
stops.
has dropped all worldly perceptions, no? Seeing the truth of them. They use them, but still they are not a thing. They don't generate power. They
No, they don't
haven't
generate power.
power.
They don't generate power. That's actually the Javan story is there. That's the Javan story. That extra power is not formed.
Now,
Mm.
the ignorance of people, doctor. Now, arahants have no power, zero power. But even in those days, world, the people have got lot of power because of arahants also, no? Criticizing them, fighting about them. uh, I mean, that way, trying to attack them. Even Buddha era also, people,
Yeah. One
they,
wanted to
yeah,
kill him and be the Buddha.
yeah.
Imagine.
Yeah, one fried him to kill. No, in the uh, oil pan, some arahant, one king did that. No,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah. So they are just powerless, powerless in the sense really, really neutral. No? But the people, uh, I mean, arahant, because of arahant, they should also reduce their power and they should calm themselves down. But because of arahants also, so we don't know where these the it's not good to talk about karma, but still karma would take someone no like the ignorance rather than karma. Ignorance is the best.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So the that is extreme. That's the view.
Mm.
That's the view level. View level means
Mm.
satrapai.
Mm.
So that's it. Those are the three different areas. So view level, it is satrapai, or satrapai means with four hells, and
Yes, yeah.
human and God falls into the sensual world. That's the view level.
Mm.
The form level means actually it's a Brahma level, but say, still the perception is true.
Yeah.
If a perception is true, still the light wave and the sound wave is true.
Mm.
So the if the field level is true, that is the actual. If this is in the actual Dhamma part, it's not a problem because that would be falling into Suddhavas.
Doctor, then in this non-form level also they feel their existence at some mild level.
No, that's the thing I was
No.
trying to say. The fully
Yeah, you always
uh,
explain. But
the-
yeah, we can't even imagine what
no,
it's
see,
like.
when the self view is gone, if you have fully
Yeah.
realized it's a light, the speed of light,
Hmm.
there's no talk about a self perception,
Yeah.
self
Yeah. But
self feel. There's nothing like that.
yeah, but no, if we talk about those realms, they say no, even after so many eons of kalpas,
So no,
they
no,
would
no.
fall
Suddhavasa,
back
we
to.
can't talk like that.
Ah,
Suddhavasa, we don't talk like that. No, that's
Suddhavasa.
it.
They definitely.
Suddhavasa is completely
Hmm.
the non-form level.
Ah,
We don't talk like that about Suddhavasa. Suddhavasa,
hmm.
there is no self-view or
Turning back.
self-perception or self.
Ah,
There is some kind of vibration, but it is not taken as a self vibration.
ah.
So it will
They are
just die down.
non-returner, no, doctor.
Non-return,
That's right.
and that
Non-return.
vibration will just die down.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful, yeah. All right. So form is a problem. Form level once Brahmas will come back, no doctor. After so many kalpas, I mean, they are
No,
just
if
mentally
this
because.
path is not found, everyone keeps
Mm,
coming back anyway.
mm,
The whatever the sensual world, the form world, the non-form world, it just keeps circling. Even the Aran once told me, that day, the last time I was having the talk, he was telling how
Mm.
powerful it should be for someone to come to a non-form dhyana. He said
Ah,
it's a massive power
ah,
to
mm,
maintain an non-form dhyana.
mm.
So it's power, massive power, and it will be just
Massive
end
power
up
in the
in
sense massive effort to
no, no, self power is very high there.
self
Self
power.
vibration,
Really?
yeah, yeah,
Ah, mm,
yeah, 100%. So someone has to put with the self view. No, they do that. Not
mm,
this dharma path. So you don't confuse.
mm.
Not this dharma path. Dharma path is
Ah,
completely different. When
even
the self view is shattered, when the
Hindus.
self perception is shattered, there's
Hmm.
nothing to talk about this field. Will become non-feel anyway. That path is completely different. This path, this mundane world path, it's just a circle of power. Power is very high in the this non-form level. That's why you
Ah,
can't feel it for 80 kalpas. If that's with such
yeah.
a power that maintain their
Ah,
non-feeling. 80 kalpas
non-feeling.
asanya.
Mm, mm,
It's like a
Sun.
very powerful sleep, I would say.
Yeah, yeah. That is the destination of Hindus, no, doctor. That's what they actually, that is not the destination. We can't talk about it,
No,
but
they
that's what
just
they say as
they just
moksha.
go
Yeah.
there because of the self view. They just end there.
Mm,
That's what Lord Buddha said. No, even if you end up like in that, you will end up again in Nire because of that
mm,
high
mm,
power. Once it
mm.
causes are there, effect will come into place because the power is very high. So the mind side, uh, actually, it has to be maintained with such a power.
Mm,
Mind dhyana or this form dhyana or non-form dhyana. It's maintained with such a
mm.
power.
They are just dhyanas, no, doctor. Long-term dhyanas. They like.
Yeah, just
Mm,
nothing in the self is still there because this
mm,
self means one vibration which can vanish. Once you
mm.
go into a dhyana, it just suppresses.
Temporary. Mm.
Yeah, because just imagine it's if it's a light dhyana. You talk about light that day,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. True.
so you know
Mm,
what I'm talking about. So that becomes just imagine that become a actual dhyana, and then you get trapped
mm,
in that. Just
mm,
self vibration is just suppressed.
mm. Yeah,
That's why
suppressed
dhyana
and
becomes
the
hindrances.
hindrances. And doctor, in those dhyanas, we don't feel like opening the eyes. Like, like we don't feel like opening the eyes sometimes. If we, I mean, those days when we were
Yeah,
doing that,
that's what I'm
yeah,
saying. So you get
yeah,
if someone get trapped in such
mm,
a level of dhyana or then form dhyana or non-form dhyana, it has a massive power. Self power is
but
massive there,
doctor, I
but
was
it is
also
hidden.
wondering at that time. How does nirvana would come? How would this wisdom arise? Just being like this, because after being in that meditative state, also we don't get anything. No, so
Yeah,
since
there's no insight.
we didn't have, I mean, courage to question the monks also, because we didn't know what it's like.
Yeah,
When
true.
Nirvana even we didn't know, so we were so helpless. And I was wondering, how would it come then? Realization may be happening. Then what they say was, no, you have to go ahead. You have to go for hours and hours, and ultimately someday it would happen. Like thing they say, no,
Yeah,
but
Aran Hansi tried
so
that.
yeah.
That's the
Yes,
beauty
still.
of Dhamma with the experience person like that, because I don't have that much experience about Dhamma part, but sorry, the concentration meditation part, but I can really understand what is happening there.
Happening now with this news.
Yeah. Actually, we have come to the end. Thank you so much for
Oh,
joining,
oh.
Sudharma.
Thank you so
Uh,
much, Doctor, for doing explaining everything. We are so grateful to you. You have
thank
that
you, thank
courage.
you, thank
Because,
you, Aran Vansa, for your noble guidance. Your Tumbugoda talk was so beautiful. We worship you every day. Thank you, Dhamma friends. Thank you, Sudharma.
yes, thank you, Dr. Purvasaran.
Buddothpado, Buddothpado, awakening in silence deep. Buddothpado, Buddothpado, where the mind no longer sleeps. Buddothpado, Buddothpado, breath is soft and flowing free. Buddothpado, Buddothpado, no self remains, just clarity. Buddothpado, Buddothpado, stillness shines like morning light. Buddothpado, Buddothpado, truth appears beyond sight. Buddothpado, 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 awakening, awakening, Buddothpado. In the dark of the dreaming mind, a bell of truth is calling near. Through the smoke of fear and time, a single word makes the path appear. Buddothpado, it's time to rise. Open your eyes, break through the night of lies. It's time for Nibbana within. Buddothpado, Buddothpado, let awakening begin. When the last breath falls in peace, the storm of the self grows still. With Buddothpado on the lips, the heart returns to silence and will. Buddothpado, Buddothpado, I was trying to be someone who could finally feel okay, working hard to hold it together, just to get through every day. Smiles came and they would leave me, like the sun between the rain. Every time I thought I'd found it, it would slowly slip away. I filled the noise with more distraction, told myself that I was fine, kept on chasing better moments, hoping one of them would last this time. But the weight I carried with me showed up everywhere I'd go, even in the quiet hours. There was nowhere left to go. Then I met a quiet teacher who said, look at what is happening now. See how every thought is forming. See it clearly, just see how nothing out there calling itself a thing. No one here that must defend, just a quiet seeing of it. And the struggle began to fade away. Buddothpado, showed me what I could not see, not by faith and not by belief, but by looking quietly. Buddothpado, change the way this life is known. Nothing added, nothing taken. It was truth we'd never seen. Nothing added, nothing taken. It was truth we'd never seen. Nothing added, nothing taken. It was truth we'd never seen. Buddothpado, showed the way by asking, see. When the search at last grew silent, there was space to simply be. Nothing added, nothing taken. It was truth we'd never seen. Nothing added, nothing taken. And nothing was the same.
It's time to open your eyes and see the truth beyond the lies. Do you hear the cry of a broken heart and feel the ache
tearing apart. Buddothpado will show you the way. Buddothpado will show you the way. Buddothpado will show you the way. The truth is calling, it's whispering loud, a path unwinding through the darkest crowd. Seek the light, let go of the fear, and find the peace that wipes away each tear. Buddothpado will show you the way. Buddothpado will show you the way. Buddothpado will show you the way. Buddothpado, Buddothpado, awakening in silence deep. Buddothpado, Buddothpado, where the mind no longer sleeps. Buddothpado, Buddothpado, breath is soft and flowing free. Buddothpado, Buddothpado, no self remains, just clarity. Buddothpado, Buddothpado, stillness shines like morning light. Buddothpado, Buddothpado, truth appears beyond sight. Buddothpado, 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 awakening, awakening, Buddothpado. It's time to open your eyes and see the truth beyond the lies. Do you hear the cry of a broken heart and feel the ache that's tearing apart? Buddothpado will show you the way. Buddothpado will show you the way. Buddothpado will show you the way. The truth is calling, it's whispering loud, a path unwinding through the darkest crowd. Seek the light, let go of the fear, and find the peace that wipes away each tear. Buddothpado will show you the way. 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 Buddothpado will show you the
All stimuli that we receive from our six senses while we in any posture of this body. Supposing you feel the wind on your body and you feel the coolness of it, be aware, do you feel the coolness of the wind or does the body feel it? Contemplate on it. When you feel a good taste, contemplate if the taste is felt by your tongue or is it felt by you. Contemplate if it is you who is enjoying the taste. Now, where are you? Why do you relate the taste to you? When the breeze was felt by the body, why did you assign the coolness to you? The feeling of you is a concept, a belief. This false belief that it is you is called the Sakaya Buddhi. It means that you have an impression that you exist. The belief that you exist is because we live within the uncertain. Uncertain means that we believe that the outside and the inside is true. This belief that all is true gives us the impression that we too exist. Now, we have to learn how to look at the world without me. That is called Kriya. This is how a newborn baby sees the world. He has bodily movements and actions, but he does not have any taints, greed, ill will, delusion, anger, jealousy in his mind. He does not have a me or mind concept. He does not have feelings of greed, ill will, delusion, jealousy, etc. He has a very pure, untamed mind. As we grew up, we were tricked because we were taught that we are individual beings. We added the I did it or me concept to every action we perform. That was our delusion, the illusion of the mind, Vijnana Manava. When we don't believe the outside and the inside, and when we stop believing in the me concept, the mind creates, then the thought ceases to exist. This point is called Vijnanan Anidassana. At this point, you also lose the me concept and you realize the pure truth. Appadicitta Vijnanaya means when the thought cannot create any illusion at that moment. Many moments say, yes, Honorable Sir, how should I contemplate on a sound I hear? R.N. Mohan said, when you hear a sound, contemplate. Is it you who hear the sound? Then regard it as it is only a sound. The Buddha said, Sute Sutamapta. What you hear is only a sound. When you hear a sound and when you turn towards the direction the sound comes from, you need not like it or dislike the sound. It is just a sound. Meaning Manase, yes, Sandagosi. Adam Manase, you have to be aware and question. Am I here at this moment? This awareness is very important because through this awareness, you begin to develop wisdom, which will finally make you realize the pure truth. You will realize that there is no you. Karan Sanai Everybody.
Thank we pay homage to Aran Hansi. Thank you very much, Shani, for reading the book. And I think we have discussed this to some extent yesterday also, that how this sound, or even a few days before, so how whether the sound is true, that how the sound just, how sound can be just a sound, I mean, nothing else. It's not heard to hear or anyone in that context. So we can start a discussion on that. I wish, don't know whether we can, someone is free to start the discussion and we can go on improving on that or adding. Is Dr. Sapantala?
Sanai, Dr.
Oh,
Kokila.
Sarangika, yeah.
Sanai, Dhamma friends, and we pay our homage to Buddothpado and Hansa. Dr. Kokila, I think on the theme that Shani was explaining, before we get to a Vinyanang Anidassanang thing, I think the deeper one goes into the analysis and the more one progresses on the path, the importance of understanding the basic consciousnesses, the light, the sound, and all that has been repeated over and over again by R.N. Mahansi as well as yourself. So I think I just listened. I haven't finished listening, but I listened partly to R.N. Mahansi's 9:30 Zoom conversation where he, I think, repeatedly expressed how from the same wave, how due to our five senses, the representation of the same wave is manifested in five different ways. In one way, come from the light consciousness, it's appearing as light. From the ear, it's appearing as sound. But these are mere representations of the same wave. And then, of course, he progressed on to the Shuddhashtaka, the 8 patterns of vibration as well. But I think the point about one wave emanating different representations, or nirupana as we call it in Sinhalese, is a really important point that one can explain and elaborate on, so that aspect is well understood by followers, because once they understand that, it becomes easier when they look at objects. It becomes easier when the thoughts come to their head and they feel that the thoughts are heavy and they feel as if there's stress and worry. But if they know that it's these representations that are occurring only via the senses, it's all happening due to that one vibration. The split into five is because of that, because we as human beings have these five senses, one can say. But ultimately, if that light and sound and touch, taste and smell were only representations of the vibration, and the combination of those representations is what we call a thought, and therefore the thought is also, just light and sound, or light and touch, or sound and taste, just a combination, varying combinations of it, but nothing else, then it becomes easier to not get caught up, not get captured or enraptured or entertained by that thought, whether it is through attachment or whether it is through ill will or hatred or in any such manner. I mean, yesterday we talked about raga, desa, moha, the attachment and the non-attachment. So in all those aspects, everything becomes true only if the thought becomes true. So if you can elaborate more on the wave and the representations and how important that aspect is. Thiruvan Sannai.
Yeah, Sanai. Yes, Dr. Sakuntala.
Yes, I think um, just adding more or less, I mean, a few things to what Surangika said, as you very clearly mentioned, that it is the same basic vibration or same basic current which is manifested as different streams, like depending on the sensor faculty. Now, sorry, it can be manifested as light, or in other words, a shape or a sound, smell, taste, or the tactile stimulation. So basically, it is the same vibration which gives rise to different forms. Now, it is something similar to, if you take a metaphor, like electricity. When the electricity is there, you can use electricity depending on the equipment. Sorry, depending on the equipment, you can produce maybe cold with the AC machine, or the cold with the fridge, wind blowing, I mean, cool feeling with the fan, and the bulb will give the light, etc. Now, and so it is the same basic vibration which leads to these different manifestations. So that is a basic thing that is described. And depending on the level of the current, the manifestation also can change. So in other words, when the vibrations are at a very high level, the manifestation of it as a word or a function or a thought could be in very sort of rough or crude or harsh level, whereas when the current or the vibration is at very low level, the manifestation could be very smooth. So for this, actually, you need the physical part also, because if the eye is not there, or if the ear is not there, if that physical part is not there, there is no manifestation at all. So as the baseline, you have to have this physical component. But the vision or the sensor faculty, the eye faculty, doesn't mean that the physical eye. Eye faculty indicates that the function of seeing. Ear faculty means the function of hearing. But for that function, the basic materialistic part, the organ which is made up of the blood, bones, and flesh, must be there. So this is applicable to thoughts also when you talk about the mind sensor. A beautiful example has been given by our Aryan Vahase, that is the battery, vehicle battery, where as the components, as the physical part, the battery cells are there, then the acid is there, water is there, and as a collective function of these, the current is produced, but you cannot locate where the current is. And also current is not a part of the battery. So that is, in other words, the brain is needed in the background for the thought formation, but thought you cannot locate any part of the brain, and thought actually is not a part of the brain. So when you talk about the memory, now some time back, some time back we had the idea that memory is kind of something stored in the part of the brain. But when you sort of go into the Sutra Deshana of Lord Buddha, and also those have been very simply explained by Aryan Vahase, and there it clearly says that there is nothing called memory. So it is something telepathizing, or some spark happening, something like a spark which happened in the past is getting repeated here. The same spark is appearing at this moment when the suitable causes meet together. Anything else to add to what I said, Surangika or Dr. Pokila?
Yeah, it's really interesting thing here, that the most important thing is to feel this actually, that what we discuss here. First, we have to understand that, and it's good to feel that too, because this is how even the quantum nature of the consciousness, or the how these were explained by Aryan Hanse at one time. So about the one kind of vibration thing. This is again, if you can remember, we talked about the continuity, like we feel, because in the mind we feel like, I am the one who slept yesterday. I woke up in the morning, I went to work, I came back. I had a tea, something like that. In that film we talk about, we feel that the mind bubble, that continuity. The same thing is with the field too, that due to the ignorance, how you feel that the continuity. But if you actually feel the no self perception, or at one particular moment, if you feel the non-vibration, only this thing can be understood, because the continuity is broken as well, because you understand that this vibration, if it is not taken as a thing happening here to anyone, in that sense, to a person, then at that particular moment that vibration is not there. That's the exact thing which is important to feel, the non-vibration. And that won't happen until you understand that how this works, like Surangika just said, and Sakuntala just added. It's very important to understand the vibration of these sensory faculties are felt as happening here because of the sankhara part, or because of the fast vibration of these sensory organs, but because of the ignorance, we felt that it's happening here, like in this system. But actually what it is it's just another vibration that happened in this sensory system. So that is where the anidassana state is felt. Patita novana, or the consciousness is not based on anywhere. It's just another consciousness. It's just that organ vibration. So that's the absence of that vibration that we talk about. So that's the importance of feeling that, so that that is understood, that actually is such a beautiful understanding that we get through these experiences when the whole samsaric journey, we only knew that it's something is happening here, something is happening here in the sense this system, like happening to me kind of thing, even though the words are not there. Just imagine the baby, they don't know, the 6-week child or few weeks child, they just have no idea what is happening around, but still they feel that it is happening to that system. That's the same vibration we are talking about. That's the same vibration that will be understood by a person who listens to the Dhamma. But remember, don't forget that when it comes to the adult or child who has the mind, what you see is directly the flower. You can't avoid it happening. You see directly the flower. But actually, if that mind bubble is like deep understanding happens, it will lead to the level of kind of without any specific mind consciousness. If you it will be there, but it will be not taken as a thing, and then feeling will be there about this vibration. And definitely if you feel it, you know that it is only a vibration of sensory organ, and you know that it will be the similar thing if it happens in the other sensory organ too. That's why when you understand one system, you understand kind of everything. And we understand few other things too. We understand that there is no I, outside I, or I consciousness. Actually, there's no 3 areas. We just keep understanding these things, which is great. And there's something to be felt, though. That's the important thing I was trying to tell, so that you give the system a chance to feel that. That is the main message from Pratipada. What is the big thing about Pratipada is to give a chance to this vibration, to feel the non-vibration underneath. Because non-vibration had been there, but it has never telepatized before. The ability to telepathize into non-vibration has been there all the time, but it never did. But with Dhamma, you can do this, whether it is the eye or the ear or the skin, nose or tongue or the mind consciousness. First, it's very important for you to understand the outside is actually not, we don't have an experience of this mindful world because we have, tree, all these things, but we have never had an experience of a tree. We have experience of these senses though, yes, but even that is just experiences of sensory organs. But the underlying what happened was this, when it is a thing, because of the fast vibration, when it is a thing, it always felt as here. That is the self vibration. That's the same vibration that we talk about that in previous one, the electricity. It is the same vibration. It can go down and up, yes, in the frequency, in the strongness, the power, but a system is actually lost if that system has not felt the non-vibration at least once. But if the system felt the non-vibration once, then Lord Buddha reassures that it will become the non-vibration one day, an end of suffering. And non-vibration is the fundamental, which is the most beautiful metaphor would be the flame of a lantern, which will be gone when it is gone, not leaving anything behind. But when we take everything for granted, always that self vibration, which we called as the electricity, or as in the previous example, there is a chance for telepathizing into anywhere according to the frequency. It will depend wherever. It doesn't matter which 31 realms, whatever the level. Even if it's asanyatala, the chance of it being telepathized into the self vibration at even once in blue moon, once in 80 kalpas, that which we can't even express. It's a long time, isn't it? Yeah. So can someone add something to that?
Yes, Dr. Wakila. As you said, yes. I mean, as long as there is breathing, the physical body will be functioning. And as long as a physical body is functioning, these sensor faculties are functioning. And there is continuous and very speedy creations coming out from these sensor faculties. So in other words, actually the sensor faculty means that creation itself. That means seeing things, hearing things, like that. Once I remember, I think somebody asked you about a question, if the person is unconscious, whether the sensor faculties are not functioning. But you mentioned, I remember that day, I mean, you cannot say like that, where if the physical body is there, if the breathing is there, as long as the breathing is there, from outside we may not be able to say which sensor faculties are functioning, but there should be some function. And this is something happening as a part of the system. There is no way of controlling, there is no doer. And also, as a part of the system, there is merging or getting together of these sense functions. So the result with no time gap actually, not in the baby with the radiant mind, but beyond that, without any time gap, the merging of these sensor faculty information happens as a part of the system, and then the thought is there. And the thought means, in other words, it's a mental picture, and mental picture has all the components. It has the function of the eye faculty, ear faculty, so all those components are included in that. A simple example will be that if I mention the name mother, the people who are listening will have the vibration of the ear because of the telepathization, because of the similarity of the uh, vibration, and the word, it's a word, it's a sound only, but immediately with no identifiable time gap, the picture of the mother and maybe the sense of her sound and sometimes her familiar smells, and also the way she sort of loved you or cared about you. So many informations which spans out to like maybe 50, 60 years or even longer will spark right at this moment. So that is the mind picture, or the function of the mind sensor. So this is actually uh, very complicated, I would say, very complicated, and it happens immediately. And this mental picture is the one, due to ignorance, which is considered as real. And because of this current which is underneath this creation, you get the feeling, the system get the feeling that it's real or the mother is there. I mean, you get the feeling, the system get the feeling that the mother may not be here right now, but she's somewhere. Or if the mother has passed away, still you get that feeling that mother was there some time back. So this is what's called the itta sanyava, or the feeling of existence. And the other side of the coin of the itta sanyava, or the feeling of the existence, is the self perception or feeling of self existence. So this whole chain of activities, actually you can't call it a chain, it happens simultaneously on one top of the other, like, and the initial cause was the vibration of each sensor faculty, and the final effect or the final product was me or myself concept. And it's this me or myself, or this self perception, or sakkaya dittiya, so many words are used for that. This is the root of every defilement. So this is what Lord Buddha said, that this is what you have to sort of understand. And when you understand how it happens, there's no other simple way of eradicating Sakkaya Ditya, getting rid of it. Only way is to identify how it happens, the mechanism or the magic behind the scene. Then that solidity, or the power of that self perception will gradually get less and less. Yes, Deruan Saranai, would you like to add
Yeah,
anything?
actually, I just the yesterday I was yesterday I don't know but was trying to say how this mind consciousness work. Actually, it's kind of a spell.
Mm.
The fifth one, the consciousness, how it works, it's like a spell. Then because the mind consciousness actually has all these features of other five senses, it is the best spell ever. Best spell ever. You can't compare any other spell to this spell, because you hear, you see, you feel, you have the emotions at the same time. Such a the spell in Sinhala, the Indrajalika, the standing in Sivansala. Is that the correct word?
Yes, I think you can use that word, yes.
Yeah. So how this happened? How this consciousness actually made it so difficult for us to come out of that spell. But once, like in a dream at night, we come out of it just because we get up or someone shakes us up. Get up, get up. Why are you shouting? And there's nothing happening. Same thing. Narayana is like shaking us like very hard, shouting, blaming, and, kind of telling lovingly, wake up, such a beautiful thing, because this spell, it's a really big spell. And the most dangerous thing is that the love towards a spell, like you kind of want the spell. That's where you find it difficult to die, because you don't know the spell. It's a spell. You kind of want the next thing, next thing, next thing, next thing, but you didn't know that it was a spell. So unless you wake up from the spell, once you wake up from a dream, you won't be like, you will think, oh, I wish I go to that beautiful dream again. You might think like that, but it is a dream underneath. It's such a beautiful thing to know, once we are awakened. At the same time, the spell that we are in with the six senses is the most beautiful as well as the most dangerous spell we are in, because it's very, very difficult to wake up from that. Very difficult to wake up from that. And if you wake up once, at least that it is a spell. At least you are in the spell again. You are in the spell again. Nothing has changed. But the stream enterer at least knows that it's a spell. At least. That's the beauty of this Dhamma. Because only Dhamma can change the view, the way you look at this dream or the spell. Because if you don't know it is a spell, or if you don't know that's a dream of six senses, you will be happily in that and ever wanting the next one, next one, next one, next one, next one. What do you want? Like, I want money, I want to be in a with my children when I die. I want to see Dhammadeva before I die, or I want to see I don't know, go around the world before I goes, like before something happens to me, before my strength goes away. I want to attain nirvana at least, Yeah, you want something, but that is in that spell, inside the spell. You're still inside the spell. That's what Aranwanse is saying. Wake up from it, because actually it is difficult to wake up from it. That's why you are being pampered. You are being being told multiple times, you're still thinking, you're still thinking, you're still thinking. because the thinking world is very dangerous, and because it gives the idea that the feeling of me is a part of the spell. So feeling of me is the normal thing. That's what it does. So the spell itself feeds itself, like when we say that the catch-22 like thing, that it's something feeds itself. So the spell feeds itself. The spell feeds the wrong vision. Spell feeds the I-ness, or spell feeds the idea of self. And it continues forever, and has done so far. And we don't know forever. How long will that vibration will continue? That we were talking about, how this self vibration, it has never changed. It's funny. It's funny that this same vibration, like in string theory, how this same vibration managed not to change, even though the vibration pattern changes, the same vibration, the vibration doesn't change. How come is that? So this is just try to imagine the spell changes, like imagine I die now and become a dog, kind of, but in that sense, don't take it in actual way. I'm just telling you an example just to imagine. So you know what the mind does? You just interpret as, I was a man before, like a human before. Now I think I may be a dog now. A dog can't think like that. I'm just telling an example. But the spell changes. The actual outlining of the spell changes. How? The one animal will be saying only red color. So the spell should be different. You understand that. The bee, complete different structure of the spell. But it is a spell again. The deva, the other higher realms of mind, the same thing. Different levels of spells. That self vibration that Surangika was trying to explain, that never change. So the vibration of that self vibration, in the sense the frequency could change, the power could change. So the spell could be changed. Spell outcome, actually manifestation of the spell could be changed. So imagine living for 60 years in this spell. Next time it would be a different spell or whatsoever, I don't know. But then once a person learns about this spell, even if you just for a single moment you understand the non-vibration, hold that spell, we felt only one thing. What? That single vibration. But no one actually remembered that, because each spell, you get into that spell and get so engulfed in that, so engaged in that, you can never realize it's a spell. The cow can't realize it's a spell. The dog can't realize it's a spell. Bee can't realize it's a spell. Even the other higher realms with wrong vision can't realize it's a spell. So only in human life, with this kind of structure, where this mind, the spell works, that's the only time you can actually resonance to non-vibration. So the 40-50 years of spell was, I shouldn't say 40-50 all the time, I should say 70-90 years of spell. We take it so granted, so into it, that we are scared to die, because you feel the spell is real and you feel like you want to have the next moment, next moment, next moment, next moment. But then finally, you, after listening to them, you realize, oh wow, what did I look forward to here? I did look forward to money, I did look forward to stuff, but that's all in my this spell. But then still you haven't woken up from that. So once you actually wake up from the spell, then you feel it. You feel the vibrations of the sensory organs. You feel it's a kind of it's a sensory organ only. That's from this Dhamma you can have this vision. Change the way you look at the vibration. And then only the non-vibration would arise. That will break the whole spell together. For once, doesn't matter. You will go back to the spell again. Doesn't matter, because it's shaken. The complete structure is shaken. That person can't be put back into the spell and say, darling, live in this spell. It is permanent. No acceptance would be there for that particular thing. What do you think? I would like to invite some of the Dhamma friends.
Me, Dr. Kokila, can you use the word taints or the sasava for the for what you explained as spell? The word.
No, spell is the mind world I'm talking about.
No, you're talking
so
about
70-year-old So if you die at 40, that's the 40 years of spell.
Okay. Right.
Because that is a spell we are trying to get up from, because that's where a lot of people struggle, this form world. Getting up from the form world is the difficult part. But they are all together. I mean, we can't really differentiate them. But what I'm trying to say is, even understanding this spell. So the cow's spell is full of red, full of things that the cow likes. But the underneath vibration, that is the feel. Do you get it? That is the sasana.
Yes, I understand.
So all this time I have been talking about the spell as the meaning, well, how old are you? Actually, I can't remember actually, but
Me?
yeah.
Yeah, 67.
So we can talk about a 67-year-old, 67 kind of, like we can put like a number to the spells. Actually, it's interesting. The spell didn't have an age. Spell just flowed. That is the same vibration that connected all these spells, because one vibration, tree manifests, and then the chair manifests, but it never happened in that way. This spell is all connected because of the self vibration, and at the same time you don't know it's a spell unless you are woken up from it. So it is difficult to be awake from that and to understand the vibration. That is just a vibration of the sensory organ.
Yes.
I mean, I don't know whether it made any sense. Surangika, can you comment on that or add something?
So these thoughts actually, if you think about this, how this whole that spell works, actually it becomes a spell only because of that binding power. I remember a Zoom discussion where Swarnamali, the UK lady, explained this as well. Understand why it was so important to understand that self-vibration at the zygote level is because of that, the fact that that vibration is lying dormant there, and then kind of projects itself through the asrava, the tails, as long as that ignorance is there and the belief that there's an external world and that reality becomes true, that dormant self vibration comes out in various forms through and activates itself through the thought. So every thought, the sankhara that happens, now the Buddha has said that living means volitional formations, abhisankarana. The perceptions are considered to be real, and the more one considers it to be real, the more one believes that they are real and attaches value to it, the more they bind together. If there is no belief that they are true, there is no binding together, because one thought after the other, continuous believing that they are true gives them that sense of reality, and with that comes the generation of power. Without that belief, there is no power, because the chitta niyama, the law of phenomena of the mind, is just a system that will continue to happen. If these senses are there, then the representation is there, and a combination of those representations will function as the mind consciousness, and that will happen. And that is why even for the arahats, that still happens. And the way the phenomena of this mind works is that, as Aryan Mahanse has explained, once that holds the two circles, Vattam Vatati, has happened, first the basic consciousnesses, one feels as if it's there, and that existent feeling consciousness arises, and then with that comes the next vibration, which is the mind consciousness, and one feels as if it's there and it exists. Both of those happen, but if one understands that, but still you can't, just like he says that you can't undo once the cheese is made. You can't make the cheese milk back again. That point, up to that point, that phenomena of the mind works, and that is why to that point, even the arahats still, the manifestation still occurs. They will still see a chair, they will still see the temple, they'll still see the monastery, they'll still see their robe and their bowl, and so on and so forth. But beyond that, that is what Sonamali was saying, that if one hasn't come to that realization that that doesn't happen, and this is a process, and and does not erode that self-perception, how that forms, and does not understand how the mind works, then only the binding power of one thought after the other latches onto its one another, and that binding effect is the thing that causes or generates the power. So seeing through that is the thing that happens when one accesses the Dhamma, because that awareness of the thought, how it forms, what it is made up of, and that it has no substance, it's almost as if there is a, what shall I say, a block of clay, not a block of clay, like it's like, what shall I say, like a mound of earth. If you roll it up into, you take it into your palm, and you roll it up into a ball, just some red earth. But if somebody, say somebody's just rolling up a bit of earth and making it into a ball, but every half a minute somebody's coming and pouring water onto that little ball of earth. So it's disintegrating. Somebody's trying to make it, it's disintegrating. Maybe a better example is like a castle that children make at the beach. So they sometimes make it very close to where the waves are coming in, and they are trying to keep the sandcastle erect and the structure erect, but every wave that comes in is breaking up that sandcastle. And still the child seems to be gaining some pleasure in continuing to build the sandcastle, not understanding that the wave continues to come in, continues to break down that sandcastle. So it's something like that. when one understands the Dhamma, the thought is not allowed to bind together. The thought is not allowed to become real, because the observer, because there is the observer is understanding that this is a process, this is what happens. The thought and the binding of the thought is the thing that takes us through this samsaric cycle. So if that process is understood, there is no opportunity for it to become a reality, and then there is no opportunity for it to become an existent field, and then there is no opportunity for the self-vibration to become strong, and for that whole self-perception to work. What happens is the patisota, the anusota breaks down to give way to the patisota, and instead of the binding, there is an unraveling. Instead of an attaching, there is a dissipation, a ceasing to be. And that's how the realization comes as one progresses on the path, I would say. Isn't it, Dr. Popula? And just one more point. I remember Naren Mahatse recently said about the baby in the court. I think it was Sudharma who asked the question about whether the baby does not have the self-perception and has the radiant mind, and that it is only later during, say, Montessori days that, all these things come together and the mind forms. And then he said, look, that is because you are thinking about it through the mind. And if you think about it through the mind, you're going to use those type of concepts to figure out what is actually happening at the level of the baby in the cot. In reality, because that self-vibration at the zygote level is still there, even in the baby, the smell of the mother when she nestles the baby in her arms, the voice and the vibration that emanates from that, the feeling that the baby gets from the mother's voice, all that is a vibration that, and that vibration that that the baby telepathizes into is that baby's self-vibration. So that was, I think, quite revolutionary for me, particularly. I mean, that was an angle that I think Aryan Mahanse, I haven't heard actually, Aryan Mahanse explaining it in that perspective. So perhaps Dr. Popula, if you can explain some of those aspects.
What was it exactly that you wanted me to elaborate on?
Just that last part where he said that, I think Sudharma said that, the baby doesn't have the self-vibration apart from the zygote thing that is known, because the mind has not formed at that point. So I think she asked the question some time ago, maybe I think last month, I think it was. And he said, you can't really say that the vibration that the baby feels, the Atma company, is there in the warmth of the warmth of the mother. Is there in the voice of the, the vibration that the baby feels. It may not know that it is the mother's voice. It may not know it's the mother's warmth.
Yeah.
But it innately feels it.
Yeah, that is the thing. That is the thing that third, like the third line of the third line of the training is very important there, because the only humans can understand these layers. Actually, you know that when you were talking before, you said how this keep complicated, like basic human zygote vibration, how it can end up killing thousands of people, and how can it happen? How this spell becomes real, and then vibration goes so into the high power stage because of the thinking with me in it. You know, the Venerable Angulimala, before he became a venerable, he went into thinking that if I do a necklace from fingers of people, actually the teacher will give the daughter. I mean, that's that kind of spell which became true. That is the spell that I was talking about, 40, 70, 60, whatever the spell, how this becomes so real that people would actually increase this power or decrease in that sense. This is like the junction. This is kind of the junction where it can end up in Niraya or end up as a wrong vision, a Brahma with a wrong vision, because they can go either way. But but if someone actually understand the reality of this spell and understand the reality of the normal senses, that even before the form world, that's it. That all the levels of the spell is kind of understood. So nothing can beat, nothing can kind of surprise. No touch can surprise. No light can surprise. No sound can surprise. No taste can surprise. No smell can surprise. No thought can surprise that an arahant who has become the non-vibration. That's where the senses, enjoyment of senses, are overpowered by the beautiful sense of tranquility. So we are talking about a person who is eternally happy, not like happy because there is a taste, not happy because there is a light, not happy because there is sound. Eternally happy without any of these sense of vibrations. And it's such a beautiful thing, and that's why we talk about Keles Parinirvana, Skandha Parinirvana, Dhatu Parinirvana. And before, long time ago, we believed that the Dhatu Parinirvana is all about the outside, like. But now we understand it's about the actual this non-vibration that can last a bit longer. And recently, Aradvanse was trying to say that in such a beautiful way, how non-vibration has the power. And that's where, like, someone can actually telepathize into that. So all these are telepathization still. So nothing is ours. It's not my my non-vibration. I mean, when we start this journey, that's how you feel like, I'm going to achieve the non-vibration. Yeah, that's the joke we get. But it is funny, and now actually it is funny because we keep understanding, nope, that's not the way it is. What happens, even as a stream emitter, what happens is you just feel the non-vibration for the whole samsaric journey. You haven't felt the non-vibration. If you had felt it, this journey wouldn't be like this. I mean, once felt, it can have a birth in human realm. But what I'm saying is, yeah, it's such a beautiful Dhamma how human being, this human spell, human mind, once it becomes a human mind, how it can, how damage it can do to the self vibration, or how beautiful things it can happen to that. And that is in 31 realm, whether the beautiful or the ugly side of it, but the utmost importance is the non-vibration, because no other status can bring telepathize into non-vibration. No other form can telepathize into non-vibration, isn't it?
Yeah.
I don't know whether even I answered your question. I get deviated sometimes, you know.
Yeah, no, that's okay.
Yeah. Did I answer your question? Sometimes when you try to start telling that, it goes everywhere. Yeah.
Also,
Okay.
Dr. Kokila, when there is non-vibration of a particular system, uh, uh, it's very easy to understand or the feel the level of vibrations of the other systems, isn't it? That is where this metta, spreading of metta will be maximized or the optimal in a system where the non-vibration is there, isn't it? I mean, a person, arhat state, will be able to spread metta in the maximum way to the other systems, because when there is non-vibration on this side, it's very, I mean, it's very easy or very clearly can understand the vibrations of the other systems. I don't know.
I think
Yeah,
actual answer is it can become the other
same vibration.
vibration.
Oh, yes, yes,
It is very easy because and feel how badly that system is suffering,
yes.
even though that person might be telling that that person is good now. Maybe, you know, like when we can listen to this every day, a lot of people tell our advance, I feel so good now. And our advance is telling, you have to be careful. And, you know, he nicely put it with so much kindness, because you can't really tell much. You can only say kindly that to be calm and take it easy and let go. And as we discussed last time, that's all we can do. Keep understanding Dhamma and just letting go, because this form world, unless we come to the fully understand that the form world is a mirage, is complete, everything, Dhamma, you know, the words, whatever, the whole system. It's kind of billions of data in a 70-year-old system, isn't it? How much things we have taken for granted. I mean, as a child, I think the curiosity and the way we looked at the life, and we embrace everything, didn't we? So beautifully, we embraced everything. But now we kind of know that's the spell. And if you are awakened from that, the beginning of the path, what Aran is saying is, at least you have to have the feel, if not all the time, at least for a moment, if you get the feel and then understand it is just a, you know, system, then you can feel the non-vibration. That is kind of the beating of the path. So it's very important to understand this fully and just let go, because if you hold on to something, it is still the mind world, because this mind is so tricky. The most amazing web, the spell, the web, you can say anything. I think Lord Buddha's time, he actually talked about the web, remember? The spider. He talked about the spider and how spider keep reading the web, and how these sensor faculties are, manifesting all these things. But once understood, till we have the skandha parinirvana, I don't know what that is in English, like until the breathing ceases, there will be some, there will be a fail, yes, but that would be utmost, harmless underneath. There can be problems on top of it. Doesn't matter. Yeah. Is there anything to add, Surangika?
Yesterday, I think you mentioned about happiness, and that is the problem, isn't it? Happiness, and I don't know what
The
the
word
word is
happiness
called.
is, word happiness is
Sukha,
already
yeah.
taken, so can't even talk about these things in English sometimes because all the words, pleasure, happiness, all kind of sensual world, that inside the spell.
Yeah, very materialistic, as R.M. Mahansa says, and this is the issue, isn't it? Because this you mentioned in today's talk that sometimes people don't even want to come out of the film. They like to be in the spell because they think that is in. If you are, one thing is they don't know it's a spell. The other thing is they think
complete ignorance.
Yeah, so they think that happiness is the happiness, and that there is no other happiness, and they can't even fathom the fact that a religion, because that's the way they consider all these. No? They consider Buddhism a religion, they consider Christianity a religion. So this is also a problem with the stigma in societies and the negative connotations that have been given through wrong teachings also. All these things contribute to sometimes people's reluctance in actually opening their wisdom or mind or whatever it is towards even listening to a little bit of the Dhamma sometimes. But basically, so they are intoxicated with that happiness and they can't fathom that there is something beyond that materialistic happiness, which is unfortunate, really, because I think that itself is the thing that's stopping quite a lot of people from accessing the Dhamma. So, like Aryan Vansi says, it has to be somebody who actually has suffered and knows what suffering is to want to transcend that suffering, to want to bring an end to that suffering, who will then question, why is there such a thing as suffering? What is making me suffer? At least even saying it's me suffering, I am suffering, even it's okay as long as somebody is questioning it. Because if you question it only, one will then go in search of salvation, right? Go in search of something that can take away the pain. I mean, we saw that lady the other day at, where was that place? The International Center.
Yeah.
Where I think she said there was a little video that was put out yesterday or something where she said, I just like to sit. I don't want the noise or the voices, the people or the crowd or I don't know, something like that. She said, I just want to sit and be quiet and just be in the quiet, be in the silence. And anything else that happens, it doesn't matter if I can just be in the silence or be quiet and sit quietly. So I think that itself is almost like a signal of a person who is tuning into the non-vibration, isn't it? Which is the beautiful thing about it. So it's a very rare thing that people come in search and actually feel that innately within them, isn't it?
Yeah, it can be, there are different ways to look at it too, because if someone has felt that with the self vision, or wrong vision, you still can entertain these, kind of areas where you don't feel anything. So, like in dhyana, so that also can, make them to look forward to them too. So that's where they search for that. So if someone is being guided to that side, they might just look forward to that. But in the sense, if someone is guided towards true Dhamma, that if the wrong vision is actually converted kind of the right vision or the samadhi, then it is going to move towards a non-vibration. Otherwise, nothing. Otherwise, it would be just that you would like to be in a good place, That's kind of the wrong vision we have. But because she is now hearing the different way of non-self angle, then only she can realize, oh wow, this is what happened. That's where, the Aranwanse also did this before. He wanted the silence and he was looking towards the silence or everywhere. He was searching for that, but then he found it another way, as I think she did it in India. So there's similar kind of experiences that is spreading, where they look forward to something and they kind of can end up either in right vision or in the wrong vision. Yeah. It's very beautiful. And I think we are running into the 4 o'clock Zoom discussion. So we'll worship Aryan Hanse for his complete guidance to non-vibration. I don't think there is a teacher like him who emphasizes on non-vibration. So we worship him fully and every day. And thank you very much, Dhamma friends, for coming to discuss Dhamma. And thank you, Shani, for opening the forum by reading our advances discussion with the Venerable Theruvan Sarnai, everyone. May Triple Gem bless you.
Theruvan Sarnai, Dhamma friends. Theruvan Sarnai, Aranwanse.
At the third stage, you have already realized that the outside does not exist, and we are already aware that any stimulus that you receive is only a thought. On the path to realize the pure truth, at this stage, you have to identify the illusory you in every thought that you receive. Whichever thought you receive, it is you. When you see a book, the book is the mind consciousness, the vijnana. Therefore, the illusory you is in it. The book is you. You have to be aware of yourself in the thought. If you see a book, the book is you. The mind consciousness gives you an illusory you in every thought. The way to be aware of yourself in a thought is, if you see a book, realize that the book is you. If you give a value to that book, and if you think that you want to have that book, that is you there. This is known as drushtiya. Drushtiya means a false belief. The feeling of I am experienced the book and that I exist at this moment and I see the book in front of me, taking me to be true. is called Sakkaya Dittiya. In other words, the feeling of I am alive and I am experiencing this is called Sakkaya Dittiya. There is a very subtle angle through which this forming of I-ness should be observed. It is not easy. The Buddha said to observe the forming of the illusory self in a thought is more difficult than splitting a single hair of a horse into 100 strands by a clever art. The Buddha also said that to detect the self in a thought is not easy. He said that it is like trying to see a rainbow through a dewdrop that is hanging at the end of a blade of grass. What the Buddha says is to recognize how the self is formed in a thought, which comes as a stimulus. We look at everything by attaching ourselves to it. But if you can use the book with an awareness and without the delusion that you are using it, that is wisdom. Also, if you can be aware that the thought of a book arose and then after that the thought of a big ball arose, that is wisdom. Try to use things without the concept of me and mine. This is also called Prabhashvarya or purity. Within that awareness, within that purity, there is no self or person. This awareness together with the Yathabhuta understanding allows you to develop wisdom. Like how we know that the images in the mirror are not real, we should also